right there, let's talk sports, fans. Thanks for tuning in.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another great LTS show. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I didn't even do a show yesterday due to Mother's Day. We wanted to dedicate the day to my lovely wife. So hopefully everybody spent time with their whether it was their wife, their mom, all the moms out in the world. Hopefully they had the best Mother's Day that they could have, and so y'all, all of us gentlemen, hopefully you put on for your wife, your mom, whoever whether it could be just your girlfriend, whatever she is, I'll put on for the moms. You know what I mean? It's hard work raising kids, and for me, I am blessed to have a lovely wife, and even my ex-wife, mother of my children. They do like so much to where, like, for me, where I really think back, I'm like, man. They do a lot for our children, for my children, to where I can just do dumb things like podcasts at 8:00 at night instead of trying to, put the kids to bed. And, I can go to work and, they're handling a lot of business as far as like making sure like, hey, if I need to take them to an appointment, where I need to be, what questions I need to ask, because let's face it, I'm your typical dude. I take the kid to the appointment and they ask me, what's how old are they? How old are you? Do they have any allergies? Do you got any allergies? That's typical me when I take my kids to the doctor's appointment. So, moms always help us put out. It's just something in there, something in them. I mean, I'm that typical I am your typical dad. So, so I always shout out to all the moms, and both of my wife and even my kids' mom. They're great parents, great moms, and blessed to have them. My kids are blessed to have them in their lives. If it was just left up to me, we'd be in a shit ton of trouble. But nonetheless, I had a great weekend. My wife, this is when she's a keeper, when she says it's Mother's Day weekend and she wants to go to the UFC fights. We took in the UFC St. Louis, incredible night of fights. The knockouts. I was just telling the boys backstage, if you ever get a chance to go to the fights, man, it is an atmosphere like anything you can. It's a whole different vibe. Been to professional football games, basketball games, all types of stuff, but the fights in general are just absolutely insane. They were crazy, but lots to get into with the boys. We got NBA talk. The Nuggets woke up and realized, hey, we're the defending fucking champions. We tied this bitch 2-2 to the Timberwolves. I picked this. I still said I feel like the Nuggets could go win this thing even at 2-2, even when they were down 2-0. I mean, I was a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie, but then the Pacers have defeated this guy's team on back-to-back games. He might need to suit up for the Knicks at this rate because I mean they don't have any warm bodies left. Give it up for Mr. Nick, Johnny Cruz.
What's going on? I could probably give him 2 minutes. That's about as much as I can give them with my old broken ass. But nah, man, you're right, man. The NBA playoffs has been a lot of fun. We talked a bit backstage. I'm glad Denver, like you said, woke up and won those 2 games. I still think they're gonna win it. To be quite honest, I love what Minnesota's doing. Anthony Edwards is a lot of fun to watch. But that's a nice series there. You mentioned the Knicks and Pacers. The Knicks just don't have any healthy bodies, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just they had a chance to take game 3 and they let it slip. You know what I'm saying? Because I think if they go up 3-0,
they got smacked in the mouth.
Yesterday they got DDT'd and got knocked the hell out. But if they could have stole game 3, I think Indiana's will would have just been shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the fact that they managed to win that game on that miracle shot, and then they just stomped them out this last game here. I don't think the Knicks win another game, to be completely honest. I just don't think they have enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are playing, 46, 47 minutes.
Yeah.
Brunson's kind of hobbling a little bit. If OG don't play, I don't think they would.
Yeah, he's out. They've already ruled him out for game 5.
They've already ruled him out. He's one that he's already shown throughout the season that if he ain't 100, he ain't playing. So if he don't play, I know the guard is going to be rocking, and they're going to have the whole building behind them, but I just don't think they have enough. You know what I'm saying? If they do happen to win, game 5 and go up 3-2, I just don't think they could win in Indiana. Then game 7, you never know. But I personally don't think they win another game. Unless Brunson drops a 50 piece and guys go nuts. I just don't see it happening, but it's been a lot of fun, man. I'm surprised Dallas,
if they win tonight, it's 3-1 and it's over. Yeah, you know what I mean.
And shout out to Luka and Kyrie, because I ain't gonna front. When they first made that trade, I was like, I don't see it working. But Kyrie is playing his Robin role with no problem. That's the same role he played with LeBron. That's probably the best role for him. And he's doing a good job. They made some good trades for PJ Washington at the trade deadline, and Dallas looks good. So it's been a lot of fun. These last 8 teams are, probably the teams that deserve to be there. And it's a lot of fun, man. These playoffs have been a lot of fun.
It is, and it feel like for me the Nuggets, they figured something out here. Like Rudy Gobert can't guard Nikola Jokic, so it's like can the Timberwolves now make the adjustment? And Ant's doing what he's doing. Like Ant had he scored 40 last night, 40 almost 50, and they still lost. Now, and then the other guys, Aaron Gordon, he went 15 for 15. Like he had a 30-point night or something like that and didn't miss a shot. So it's just like he gets to play that good role. Like they're starting to click now with some time off. It seems like Jamal Murray is getting a little bit healthier. Like he had the couple of days in between. The Nuggets, they said, the heart of a champion are the Denver Nuggets, and they're showing it. So
I think we talked about it before the playoffs started too. That Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray, like if they play up to their capabilities, Denver was going to be hard to beat. I think we mentioned it before last year's finals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Joker is Joker. If those other guys are playing their roles and playing it well, especially Gordon, like that's a mismatch, bro. Like he's a really good defender, and he's a mismatch as far as defending him if he posts up on people. So, the other guys are stepping up, and they actually made it a series. I don't know what the hell happened to Cat. Cat needs to stop worrying about the referees and focus on making shots.
Where's he at?
Well, all he does is cry. All he does is complain and cry to the refs. You know, saying everything's a foul. So just play ball. Just like your leader, the way he's just balling out. That's what you need to do, man. You can't be there worried, complaining and shit. Just play some basketball. But it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, like you said, they made an adjustment. Let's see if Minnesota can make. They don't seem as aggressive as they were the first 2 games, especially on defense. Like on those first 2 games, they were attacking Denver on defense. You know what I'm saying? These last couple games, they don't seem to have that same tenacity on defense. So I don't know, man. It's fun to watch, man. These NBA playoffs have been good.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll bring in Mr. First Down. Sam, what is up, my man? You are noted new Indiana Pacers. The Pacers have now tied it back up 2-2 and have made this a series. It's weird because in the Knicks Pacer series, the home team always is hold and serve, which is typically what you're supposed to do. In the opposite series that we were just talking about, the home team hasn't won a damn game.
Yeah, no, it's really weird the way it's all set up. By the way, I'm a little late to this, but I found out or forgotten, either one, that I'm supposed to hate the Knicks. So screw you, Johnny Cruz, and your Knicks. All right, you suck.
We tried telling you to hate the Knicks before this. We told you going into the series, this was like an old heated rivalry. These are two, 90s, early 2000s. These are two franchises that continuously met in the playoffs, and just both teams sucked for a long time, and now they're good.
Yeah, to be honest, Sam, real quick, I'm as much of a Knicks fan as you are a Pacer fan.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So just being real. I like the Knicks.
Show called Nip and Tuck. I don't get it.
I like the Knicks, and I want them to win. I just don't feel the same pain that Knicks fans do when they lose.
Yeah, I was getting an earful of my in-laws. They're like, "You need to go in there and talk some shit." I'm like, yeah.
By all means, go ahead, bro.
No. Seriously, like you could have very well stolen Game 3. I'm kind of with you. Game 4 felt like, you know what? I'm tired of being bullied. I am sick and tired of it. So we're going to go to town, and they did. But unless the injuries are going to get any better, and I don't think they are, I think the Pacers are going to take this one. But I mean, it's that last game. Like I said, it was more of an exclamation point. I'm tired of getting pushed around. I'll show you.
And I think it hit them, bro. They're not healthy. Let's just run them off the court, and that's smart. That's what they're going to try to do. Yeah. Right? They don't have enough. They don't have enough firepower to keep up with Indiana if Indiana's on.
Yeah, no,
I'm with you. You're right. They don't. They don't have enough bodies. I mean, they just don't. Right. They don't have. And Tibbs is always. I love Thibodeau, obviously from his time as a Chicago Bull, but that's always been his MO. Is like he seems to always kind of fall short in the playoffs because he runs a short bench in the regular season. He's a game-to-game coach. Like we're gonna coach my heart out every game. He's not looking for tomorrow, even in game 1. He doesn't care about games 79, the rest of 79. He cares about game 1, and that's kind of how he coaches. So the bench is shorter. These guys play a lot of minutes, and then as the playoffs, get here, they're falling apart, and they're in, and then they don't have nobody else because their bench is only 5-6 deep, and that's why Josh Hart is playing, almost every 40, minute of every game.
He played 50-something minutes in that overtime game. It's insane.
Do you think Thibodeau ever tells his players, "If I stop coaching tomorrow, you will play for me"? No, sorry,
I mean. I don't know what to tell them, but other than we're gonna coach the best of our ability to win this one game. And they don't. He plays that old school style. Like that's what somebody correlated like that. Slow it down. Where the '90s game, right? Like where it's the game was like 85-75 or something. Right. The difference is the game's changed. Like you can't play that today. It's fast paced. It's you got to have horses, and they don't have. They're running out of horses. Their horses are dying.
That's the problem there. Sorry, before we bring Tanner on. I mean, he actually has the type of players that have that mentality. With Hart, with the Villanova guys and stuff like that. So I mean, he's got the guys with the mindset to play the way he wants to play. It's just the Mitchell Robinson injury, even though Joel Embiid hurt him, twisted his ankle, OG being out. I'm saying there's just too many injuries.
Julius Randle being out. I mean, I know Randall being out.
Like that was a big one there too. But the Mitchell Robinson and then OG getting hurt in the playoffs, like even if those two guys are there, I think they would have had enough. But there's just not enough bodies. But I mean, he does have the team to fit his mindset. It's just too many injuries.
Two things. One, football talk with Bo. Whatever was going on your show this morning, god dang, son, somebody chose violence. These two guys were going at each other, and I was just like, I'll see what Bo's up to. And I was like, oh dang, I felt like popping some popcorn. It was like next UFC match there with words for a second. Second, so let us know what's going on with that, Bo. Second, Johnny, do you think it's the way they play is why all these injuries are adding up? Is it what they're doing?
Physical style. It's to me. It's the same.
I think it contributes to it because they're wearing out now. You know what I'm saying? But I think again, Mitchell Robinson was fine. That was Joel Embiid who twisted his ankle. You know what I'm saying, in that game against Philly. You're saying the injury to Julius Randle was a fluke thing when he was going up for a shot, and then he got kind of a hard foul from Jaime Jaquez from Miami. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that's why. I mean, it's not helping. Like OG with the hamstring, I'm sure playing 40-something minutes did not help that. You know what I'm saying? So that I can kind of put with it, but the other injuries, no. But the thing is, I mean, he did this for the majority of the season, so like they've kind of been prepared to play a lot of minutes, but I think it's a bit out of hand because they're shorthanded, so they're playing much more. But I don't think it's totally because of his side that they're getting injured. The Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle definitely not. OG possibly with the hamstring. And Jalen Brunson just kind of felt awkward on his leg or whatever originally. So I don't think it's totally because of that, but it can't help to be playing 40-something minutes.
Yeah, no, it can't.
Hey, we'll go ahead and we'll bring in our other fourth esteemed colleague, the one and only Tanner Dawson.
Oh,
hey, was that Sam? Were you talking about the one?
team.
Were you talking about the one with Mr. U on
What?
both channels today? Mr. U.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, you don't remember anybody? Okay.
Yeah, no, I have no clue. I was on
What's
my
up,
break,
Mike?
like in the morning. Like
My bad.
I'm in the
Oh,
factory,
what
Mr. Blue Collar, working.
Yeah.
And I'm on morning break. I'm like, oh, Bo's going live. And next thing I know, it's like, you know what? You don't fucking know what you're talking about. And I was like, oh, god dang. And they were both going back and forth. I'm just sitting in the
It might have been the
cafeteria
one
like,
with you. I wanted to click on it, but I was in a meeting, and then I forgot about it after it was done. So.
Mike, what's
Yeah.
up,
Real
man?
quick before we bring Jim in, Tan, I want to get your opinion here because you're obviously close on the Buffoons. You guys talk about the Suns quite a bit with Mike. They obviously fired Frank Vogel. I think they're paying him like $6 million, and then they bring in Coach Budenhauser for $50 million. Thoughts on in that rotation? They only still have like 3 guys in that rotation, and it's all tied up to Durant, Beal, and Booker. Now, I guess they do have 2 first-round picks this year. I guess is what
Like it matters, man. Like it matters. You know what I'm saying? Like desperation. You out paying a coach that's
Got pretty live.
been to the
Pretty
finals.
live.
You think you got something? It wasn't you. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
But you got desperate to go find a coach that can help your offense, and yet you're still struggling with the same issue, which is depth. Depth. I'm telling you. I'm sure we'll discuss it on Wednesday with Mike here and Jason. But to me, it's the same issue year in, year out. It's not necessarily – I mean, the Vogel is not an offensive coach by any means, but it's not necessarily the coach. It's the way your team is formed and managed. And it's – I don't know. I don't think this helps any. I really don't. I think you're stuck with the same, year in, year out watch. You're going to be probably really good in the regular season. And then come playoff time, well, here you go.
They weren't even that good in the regular season. I mean, it was like the last 2 weeks they finally clinched the 6th seed, I think, even.
They barely clinched the 6.
Yeah.
Going into those 2 weeks there because they had. I mean, it was a horrendous losing streak. So I don't know, man. I don't have really much thoughts on it because, like you said, it's the same rotating 3, and what do you do after that? Well, you're in the same situation. So.
And really, we saw Bradley Beal didn't show up, so it's just
rotating
tough.
2 and some other guys.
Yeah. What?
By
Boston,
the way,
real quick,
your injuries for
right.
NBA, it's all pitch clock related. Just worry about that. It's all pitch clock related.
Boston, I don't understand this, Boston, and this is why I don't think Boston can win a championship. No Donovan Mitchell tonight, and they're only up 6.
Jarrett Allen.
Yeah, no Mitchell, no
Donovan
Allen.
Jarrett.
And you're up 6 with 23 seconds. I would have guessed this would have been like Indiana Knicks last night. Like just a complete blowout.
That's over.
And it's a 7-point game with 23 seconds left, but still.
Garland just missed. Tatum just got fouled. It's over.
Ooh.
Oh, it's over. Okay, so you're like 30 seconds ahead of me. Oh, he did miss the easy layup. Yep, it's over.
Do you think it's a mentality thing? Like they just don't have that. They don't seem to have like that killer mentality to them.
Scott preaches it on the Buffoons. He's preached it on the text chain. He's preached it here. They don't have the killer instinct. That's all it is.
They don't know how to cut the snake off the head when you know what I mean.
Right. Tatum didn't get enough time with Mamba. Let's just say that he didn't get enough time with Mamba.
Yeah. They don't know how to step on the throat, man. They just
Yikes.
Well,
let's go ahead. I'm excited to talk to this guy. I think we haven't talked to him in like 2 weeks, so we got a bunch of hockey stuff to talk in. There's people getting suspended. There's goal controversies. I mean, Jesus, we need some Jim Biringer bombs in our life and we need to get caught up in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And the only guy that can do that is our guy. Give it up for Jim Biringer, baby.
Let's go.
Jim doesn't like it. Says it's not kosher.
Hey, so Tanner, were you talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs or were you talking about the Phoenix Suns? Because it sounds like the same team you're talking about.
Apparently, it's both of them. So.
It sounds like It sounds like both teams. Killer
Just
instinct.
rotate in the management, coaches
problem, player construction. No killer instinct. Can't win in the play. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Toronto Maple Leafs. Sorry,
My bad.
Yeah, my bad. No, but I'm serious. So real quick, just because I bring this up, Toronto made a coaching change last week. Sheldon Keefe's out, and they lose again in the first round to Scotch Boston Bruins, and not a surprise. They come back. They play well in games 5 through 7. They play great defensively. The question was, where the hell was this in games 3 and 4 on home ice when they completely shit the bed at home? And if they had played an ounce like this in any of games 1 through 4, they would have won the series.
unreal.
Jim, what was this controversial goal that happened last night, or not allowed, or are allowed in the Bruins? Speaking of the Bruins game,
Yeah. All right. So what happened? So if you go watch the game, if you go watch the game and you watched the game last night, Sam Bennett's public enemy number 1 in Boston. First off, he sucker punched Brad Marchand in the face, which, first of all, we all know these sports have issues now because of gambling that's involved and everything that's going on, and the integrity of the league and all that stuff. Okay, how does a league that supposedly reviews every play for possible suspension didn't get an angle until Sunday evening before the game, and Game 3 was Friday? That's one. Sam Bennett's been and I'm going to bring my wrestling into this because I'm writing an article about this, which Nick will love and the guys who follow wrestling. Every good babyface needs a great villain, a great heel.
100%.
Sam Bennett's a heel. Sam Bennett is a heel since he's come back into the series. Now, what happened on the goal in Game 4 is he shoves Charlie Coyle into Jeremy Swayman, the Bruins goaltender, preventing Swayman from playing his position. He creates separation from the puck and shoves the puck into the open net. Now, everybody watching on TV, those covering the game, unless you were on the Florida side of things, all thought it was no goal. I talked to a couple of ex-NHL officials yesterday. I'm like, how is this not a goal? How is this standing up? The league's explanation was, well, they acknowledged the shove, but they didn't think Swayman could have made a save, and that hindrance didn't prevent him from making the decision. And I'm like, wait, what? The whole point of Bennett shoving Coyle into Swayman was so he could get an easier access to the net to score. So I was listening to the radio today, and we all know what happened 8 years ago, or maybe it's even more now, with Calvin Johnson, right? When he scores a touchdown in the end zone, puts the ball down, gets up using the football. They call it no. Right.
Yeah, no catch.
The NFL, and Tony Dungy said this on national broadcast. So this isn't me coming up with a new theory here. Dungy said the NFL should have come out with a statement saying we got it wrong, and to say that was a catch, we messed up, but instead they opened Pandora's box into we don't know what a catch is anymore. What's the process? Right. Complete all this crap. Yeah, this is the same thing that's happening here. The National Hockey League, because they won't do it because they're prideful, and they're going to say, hey, we got it right. But now they really should issue a statement saying, hey, we got it wrong. We all know we got it wrong, and we need to move on. And now we can set precedent and say, hey, going forward, plays like this are penalized. There are no goals. It's goaltender interference. Now what they're saying is, okay, it's open season on a defenseman. So if I'm a forward and Sam's the defenseman and Tanner's a goaltender and I want to score a goal, I'm just going to push him into the goaltender and score. And now they can't say anything. And that's going to injure players. So it was a bad look overall. Your integrity of your sport's already compromised because of what's going on. It just makes it 10 times worse, and it should have been no goal. And again, I disagree with the National Hockey League. It's not going to change anything. But I also said this in my video yesterday. when you're up 2-0 and you only muster 19 shots, you can't win a hockey game and blame one play either. But we all know it was the wrong call.
Correct.
True that.
And that was huge though, right? Because now they're up 3 games to 3-1 in the series too, instead of maybe possibly 2-2.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's a huge momentum swing because like it could have been 2-2. Prize should be 2-2. Instead, it was a 2-2 hockey game. Barkov scores 3 minutes later, and it's 3-2, and they end up losing. But again, the Bruins didn't create enough shots on goal. They got outshot 42-19. That's not a way to win a hockey game. Yes, you're up 2-0. You had control, but you let those things affect it. Even Montgomery said it. I agree with Don Sweeney. Don Sweeney, the general manager of the Bruins, spoke today. He's like, I think the NHL or some of these officials or the director official has to come out and say why they said what they said, why the rule is the way it was, and why they issued no goal. And these officials, there should be one media guy from all these teams, just unbiased, objective. Somebody ask these officials what and into that call, because as an official, and I put this on Twitter, and Pierre Maguire was talking about this places today too. If you look at it, the down low official has to watch the net, and the up high official should be looking at what's going on in front of the net. But if the up high official is blocked, the down low official now has to take control. He's just looking straight at the goal line when he should be looking at the whole play. And there was a penalty for cross-checking, interference, whatever you want. It just shouldn't have been a goal.
Jim, real quick, what the hell did I'm going to butcher his name, but the Avs star Valerie Nishkushkin, what the hell did he do to get suspended 6 months?
So I think it's related to something that happened in the offseason. I really don't know too many details about it. All I know is in the player assistant program, level 3 it is. Where
what the hell is that? First of all, what the hell is that?
All right, so basically it's a player assistant program if you have personal issues off the ice, drugs or
so it's like
alcohol.
The NFL's like
yeah,
pup
exactly.
list? Is it like the pup list?
No, definitely not the pup list. This is actually, they send you to rehab. They send you to assistant program. They help you conquer your demons. But
so
now
better than the NFL.
Right,
Okay.
Exactly. They help you out. But here's the deal. He has to apply for reinstatement. Like level 1, level 2, you didn't need to apply for anything. Now you have to reapply for reinstatement into the league. I wish him all the best. Again, this is a personal matter. I think this had something to do in the offseason earlier in the year. So, yeah, he's got some demons that he needs to conquer.
Like drugs, criminal. Do we know? Like,
don't really know. Not too many details were released when it happened the first time.
Tanner, do we?
Yeah,
have that
I just got the update, and I was like, first of all, I don't know what the hell that program is. First of all, and then it doesn't say what he did, so I just didn't know. 6 months, so he has to be so he has to serve the 6 months, then has to be reinstated.
Well, he gets 6 months without pay. Yeah, he has to serve his 6. He has to go through. He has to show that he is better, basically. Like it's like you. I don't want to say it's probation. It's not the right word, but like if you want to go back to a job after you've gone through rehab and things like that, you have to show that you've changed in your ability to do everything. So yeah, but best of luck to him, really, in all of this. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to find out more information, but it is a private matter, so they're really not going to say too much.
All right, so TMZ or Jim Barron, we'll look for the Baron Shabam to figure out what the hell happened.
I figured out what it was. He needed time away because Drew McIntyre lost the match to a one-armed CM Punk. That's what happened.
I mean, look, I know he was in the player assistant program earlier in the year because of some issues, but now he's back in. This has to do with a failed drug test from earlier in the season and then earlier in the play. So, and he had an incident in Seattle during the playoffs last year. So it's kind of all tied together. So he has, So it's just, let's just say he has some personal demons he has to overcome.
All right. Well, there goes my comedic.
So it's
thank you, Ken. Appreciate that.
Drug related. Drug related.
Drug related. Yeah. Drug related. Yeah.
Okay.
That's very interesting.
Hopefully, he gets the help that he needs and comes back.
Exactly. Like,
something tells me
you don't. You want that. You want that for a player. You like to see these guys come back and not go through this stuff. So
it's not. I mean, is marijuana legal? Is hockey testing for marijuana? It's not marijuana, is it? Like we're past that point.
No, we're past that. Yeah, no, I don't think anybody cares anymore. I don't think anybody.
I'm just making sure. I don't know the hockey rules. I know NFL,
wait,
NBA.
well,
everybody's high on the NBA playing right now, so I mean they don't even.
What I don't understand is, and I think I saw this a couple of years ago. I think in the National Hockey League, somebody did get suspended for marijuana in a state that it was legal, because technically you're not supposed to do it. But
it's probably somebody in Colorado.
Yeah,
playing in Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh, so like you're not supposed to do it like in the league at that time? You weren't supposed to?
You're not supposed to do it. Like it's frowned upon to take do any of that stuff.
Yeah, it's real performance enhancing. I promise you that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, real performance enhancing. Real performance enhancing. Maybe the other way.
Yeah, all the guys that show up to the NBA high, I'm like, y'all are out here fucking running, fucking playing basketball.
By the way, because I know we're gonna talk wrestling later, but shout out to TNT when the Timberwolves game was on and when they went to commercial playing the NWO Wolfpack theme. By the way, shout out. That was hot. That was really cool.
It was, but. I don't know how they do it. When I get high, I just want to chill out and do nothing.
Absolutely. No.
Playing controversy with it.
You want to get high?
Big controversy in the Bruins game yesterday. We got Game 6 now in Carolina Rangers. Carolina wins 4-1. They scored 4 unanswered goals in the third period, and they looked good. Yeah. I mean, one was an empty net, but they scored 3 unanswered with the goalie there. They looked good third period. Stay alive one more time. Again, one game at a time with these 3-0 deficits. And let's be realistic. They probably should be up in this series because of the way they played in certain games. But they have definitely been taking advantage of the Rangers' mistakes in these last 2 games to score some goals. I mean, Jordan Staal had like 18 shots, maybe 20 shots in the series before he finally scored. If
they win Game 6, all the pressure's on the Rangers. I didn't realize it was up 3. The Rangers were up 3.
Yeah. 100%. All the pressure shifts back to New York.
It seems like every year, though, Jim, like we don't see that as happen. The 3-0 in basketball and baseball. It seems like every year, though, in hockey, this happens.
I mean, not every year. I think it's becoming more common now in the National Hockey League because leads are not safe and teams know how to adjust. Back in the day, no. And it was from I think the last time prior to 2010 was 1975 with the Islanders. It's rare that happens. 3-1 is more common now too because New Jersey was down 3-1 to Philadelphia 2000 and they came back and that was the first time in a long time a team had ever done that in a conference final. So I think because of the skill in these teams, and now you have to see. Now here's what kills me. So Carolina wins Game 5, right? Their next game's not till Thursday. So all the momentum you had winning Game 5 is gone.
On the NBA schedule, Jim. They on the NBA schedule.
I mean,
there's a reason why it lasts till July, Nick.
Right, exactly. There's a reason why.
1 month ago.
There's going to be a reason why in the end of June when it's hot as hell, the NHL is going to have a draft in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Speaking of the draft, Jim, San Jose got the number 1 pick. Is there a Connor McDavid like me and Tanner's guy in this class, or is this Ooh.
I mean, I will say Macklin Celebrini is really going to be a really, really good hockey player. He's going to be – his dad's part of the staff of the Golden State Warriors, their physical training staff. He's part of that. He grew up in the Bay Area, played for Junior Sharks. It's a really good home. He's basically going home, though he's from Canada. Dominated college hockey, won Hobie Baker, 17-year-old, 18-year-old now, but he's probably going to go to the NHL. Maybe he goes back to see if he can do something else in college, but he's really kind of done all he can do except win a national championship. I mean, San Jose is really going to be bad again, so I mean, him and Will Smith could go back to school and be like, yeah, screw you guys. We're, kind of like just going to be, we want to go back to college. Not really screw you guys, but they're like, we want to develop more. We know the team's not going to be good, but we'll see what they do. But Celebrini's the guy, but the top 10 is pretty good when it comes to players. I think I'll make my way up to the scouting combine a couple weeks from now, I think, in Buffalo to see who else is going to be up there, top 10 wise. I mean, it's like the NFL combine, guys in t-shirts and shorts, and all right, big deal, right? I could watch video and do all that, but it'd be cool to talk to some players. Like I was down last week, quick trip to Florida and Carolina on back-to-back nights. Boston game 2 in Florida, and then game 3 in Carolina for Rangers and Hurricanes.
Which place you like the most, Jim? Like far as like atmosphere-wise, what was? Because when you don't think hockey, you're not thinking Florida at all, or Carolina to me.
I mean, Florida's building is nice. The crowd's louder in Raleigh, though. It's louder in Raleigh. It's louder in Raleigh. Like Florida's a nice building. People are cool. Like everything's cool about it. Like, but I think Carolina's a better hockey atmosphere, to be honest. Now, people in Florida are gonna be like, "Oh, whoa!" I'm like, they weren't as loud as Raleigh. Canes fans can know how to get loud.
Smaller barn though, right? In Raleigh,
yeah,
smaller
barn, yeah, absolutely.
It's very interesting.
What's you guys any hockey questions for the Jim?
I did, because I'm sure Scott's watching. Do you have any uplifting spirits for Scott, knowing that they're experiencing almost the same thing as last year in a way, minus the controversial call? Do you have anything for Boston fans to say, hey, you got a chance to come back in this one?
There's always a chance. You take it one game at a time. You look at what Carolina's doing. You got forced to game 6. You just take one game at a time. Boston's got to shoot the puck more. They got to create more offensive chances. They cannot. This is like the Vancouver Canucks. Vancouver Canucks are living on their goaltending, making 42 stops, scoring 4 goals and 19 opportunities. Like Boston has to create more. David Pastrnak has to be the guy, the $11 million player that he is. The problem is Florida has more depth than Boston does. Boston just doesn't have a number 1 center. Their defense has to play better. Charlie McAvoy cannot keep turning over the puck the way he's playing. They just have to come up with a game plan that works. They got to score on a power play. It is possible, but you have to just keep playing smart hockey. You can't get into that crap that Florida Panthers like to get into. But you got to shoot the puck, got to be aggressive, got to stay on your toes. Like I mentioned the Vancouver game, Carson Soucy suspended 1 game for the cross-check to the face of Connor McDavid. Another heel out there is Nikita Zadorov in Edmonton. He cross-checked McDavid in the back that set up the Soucy cross-check. Oh. However, Zadorov came off before Game 3. He's like, yeah, Edmonton, great city, great place to play hockey, but there's not really much to do outside the hockey rink. Like, straight up just goes complete promo, calling out the city. He's playing his role good. Look, I'm not surprised that the Oilers are down 2-1. I know the Canucks have more talent than they showed against Nashville, and it's showing here, and it's a matchup thing. But Stuart Skinner has to be better for the Edmonton Oilers. He cannot give up 12 goals over 3 games. His save percentage is below 900. It's below 800 at times. He was last year, the Oilers were stubborn and didn't go to Jack Campbell when they should have. Jack Campbell pretty much saved their season last year in round 1 in Game 4 against LA Kings. And he was great in relief, and they never did it. My understanding is Jack Campbell is in the city. He was at practices. He's been at the skates. I almost wonder if they decide that if they don't believe in Calvin Pickard, if things go bad, we see a Jack Campbell appearance, because I don't know I know Pickard was good in relief, but I'm not sure that's the guy you want to go to. There's a reason why Jack Campbell's making 5 million sheets a year. So,
gotcha. Sounds fair enough. By the way, you tweeted, I think while you were in Florida. No, might have been while you were in Florida. I can't remember. But you said something about potentially at the time the Rangers might be able to win this Stanley Cup?
Oh
Do you
yeah,
still feel that way?
I would say so. This was after the double overtime game, I think.
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
So that was
Yeah.
before I went to Florida. Look, I think the Rangers and the Panthers are the two most complete teams. I think the breaks were going the Rangers' way. That's why I put it out. I still think they can get to a Stanley Cup final. I don't think it's going to be easy, but that may change if they don't close out in Game 6.
Jim,
they're making life difficult on themselves.
as you're a fan of the Devils, so are you rooting against the Rangers?
Can't comment on that. Sorry.
That's
Jim, this is we're asking
integrity.
Jim Biringer the fan, not Jim Biringer the analyst right now.
Still can't comment, and I'll text you that privately.
We'll share it live. Don't worry about it. Anyway,
Yeah,
I know you will. I know you will.
we have no shame. No
You
shame.
might be scared to say it, Jim, but I'm not scared to say it for you. Yes, Jim Biringer is rooting openly against the Rangers. He wants the Devils to because he is a Devils fan. So he says, "Fuck the Rangers."
Allegedly.
I'll be your mouthpiece, Jim.
Allegedly.
I'll be your mouthpiece like Paul Heyman for you. You know what I mean?
Look, I will say this as trying to be an objective journalist and an analyst. Look, we're not supposed to cheer, whatever. I know there is a part of me that there is a part of me that still is a Devils fan. But again,
what are you doing awake, Keith?
What?
I was asking Keith why he's still awake. It's way past his bedtime. It's almost 11. It's almost 11 o'clock there. 10 o'clock.
Where on the East Coast? He's on the East Coast. It's almost 10 o'clock here.
Yeah, it's way past Keith's bedtime.
No, look. I think the Rangers. I think the Rangers are a good team. They have a championship level. They're creating their own breaks, but the problem is now Carolina's finding their legs and they're getting confidence, and they got to close it out in Game 6, or else. Look, then it flips. I was there. I tell everybody this. I was in Boston for Game 7 in 2010. My friend was graduating from Babson, and I was I was chilling with him. We watched the game, went to the bar. I think I told this story on here before. You could hear a pin drop after they blew that game. Again, they not only did they blow a 3-0 series lead, they blew a 3-0 game in Game 7. You could hear a pin drop where we were watching this game, and Philadelphia went on a Stanley Cup. There will be the Garden if the Carolina Hurricanes figure out a way to get back to a Game 7. People will be on edge because you were up 3-0 in this series.
New York's going to go through some bad times. If the Knicks collapse after being up 2-0, the Rangers collapse about being 3-0. As somebody who hates all New York sports, God, I would love it. So let's go.
Look, the Rangers have a good team. I think they can get there. I think they can win a championship. I think they have the ability to. If Florida's going to keep playing the way they're playing, the tide might flip to the Florida Panthers.
Mm-hmm. Jim, I was curious. I don't know if we've asked you about this publicly or anything like that, but it looks like they're bringing back Uncle Howdy. I personally don't think it should be.
So we're switching from any more hockey questions before we.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought we done. We done.
We're ready. We're ready for some wrestling talk.
We're ready for wrestling talk. One final comment on the hockey.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Stanley Cup playoffs have been great. Also, I want to give a shout out down Nashville Predators. Listen to the year-end press conferences by Andrew Burnett and Barry Trotz. From my understanding, they're trying to work on Saros to keep him, to go Saros, Askarov. But if they do that, they want to go short-term deal because, I don't know how many prime years they're going to want to waste of Askarov if he's ready. But if they could get 2 years, maybe a mentorship, and then he's ready. Or if a team really comes in, they could probably get Saros out of town. Also, Brunette, I kind of agree with him. I thought Nashville was the better team against the Vancouver Canucks, and they just couldn't score. Arthur Seavoss stood on his head, and he's doing that again in this series. But I agree with Brunette. He again, for the second time, he had the better team lost. I agree with that. I think the team did well. I think there's going to be a couple more changes in the offseason, but a good first year for Barry Trotz in the Nashville Predators down there, and a lot of good things to look forward to in Nashville. And one final thing on these coaching searches, real quick, before we switch over to the wrestling. Sheldon Keefe, Jay Woodcroft leading candidates in New Jersey right now to be their next head coach. It was Craig Berube. Until that Toronto job opened, I think they're going to lean Berube or McLennan. I think those are the two leading guys up there. I would not be shocked if Craig Berube's named Toronto Maple Leafs next head coach. They look.
Carlos says Nashville needs a two-way player who can hit and score.
Well, look, they have Ryan O'Reilly, but again, no one really expected Nashville to be there this year. They kind of overachieved and made the playoffs thanks to that heater. So I think they could definitely – they may take a step back next year, which is fine for them because of the development. But again, Barry Trotz thinks they got a lot of young talent coming along the way. And look out for this team down the road because they really have a nice, good prospects.
Thank you, Jim. Made me feel
all right,
nice.
That's all right. I'm done with the hockey talk.
Yeah, can I ask my wrestling question now?
Yes, you may. Yes, you may. Yes.
Felt like you were singing all of American Pie. Gee whiz. Anyway,
no, sorry. I like to talk hockey.
Hey, it's like one of the reasons we have you on, but
Yeah.
The Uncle Howdy situation, right? I personally don't think it should be touched. I think that should be left alone. But it looks like they are going to explore that. I just didn't know what your thoughts on it were.
I mean, I like that they're doing it. I just think, did they really have any big names to begin with in Nashville?
I don't know.
I mean, Philip Forsberg, Yossi, they had Weber, Subban.
Yep.
I mean, not really household names. But anyway, the Uncle Howdy stuff, I like it that it's going to be, we know it's going to be, what is, oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Bray Wyatt's brother. It's going to be him.
Bo Dallas.
Bo Dallas is
Bo
going to be him. We got Eric Rowan involved. We got Nikki Cross bringing the Wyatt, like this whole thing together. I kind of like, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I also do know that they need to do it right because Bray's not there, right? They got to do it right by him. They got to take whatever he was creating and do it right. I like the vignettes. I think that's a good start. We'll see where it goes. But again, got to do it right by him because this was his creation. I kind of agree with Sam that maybe you don't touch it because it was his thing. Mm-hmm. But if Bo Dallas can pull it off, again, we haven't seen Uncle Howdy since the Royal Rumble when he jumped off the stage. God knows how they're going to explain that one. But if Rowan's involved and, we got Nikki Cross involved and we got Alexa Bliss somehow back in this thing, maybe we can work this thing out. But again, it's got to be done right.
Speaking of doing it right, it seems like this new Bloodline version is definitely doing it right. But it seems like the reports I've read, Jim, is like they want to bring in this the other Fatu brother, but they're scared that he might take some shine away from Solo. I don't know if you know if you can shed any light onto that, or if you've read kind of the same shitty dirt sheets that I'm reading. Or,
yeah, I mean, not really read.
And not the ones you lay on.
They're all the same shitty dirt sheets, but I agree with that. I think Triple H, before they want to add another member to this thing, I think they want to see how it plays out with the Guerrillas of Destiny Solo, how he's running with it. This is a more badass bloodline. There's a lot of consequences. Feels like I don't want to, because there's so much Bullet Club around. It feels like a Bullet Club bloodline where they're just going to take out everybody and they don't care what they're going to do. I like it. I know Jacob Fatu is definitely signed. He's in. They want to bring him in. They want to bring the other Fatu over. Like they want to bring like everybody into this thing, but I think you gotta let
If you
it
got
run.
some Samoan blood, sign to the WWE. I need to go
Right,
get
exactly.
my 23andMe
Well,
in
what
real
was it?
quick to see if I got any
Who the
Samoan
heck
from a
was?
Uso
Oh,
or not.
so I was listening to Undertaker's podcast the other day, and they were talking about how, the guy who hosted, he was watching WrestleMania. They were bringing out all the chairs, and his first thought was, "Oh man, they're bringing out the whole Samoan family." And Undertaker's like, "That's a pretty goddamn big family." Put all on the stage, like that's like there's like a ton of Samoans, man. But look, I like what Solo's doing. Whether or not he's talked to Roman or not, who knows? Paul Heyman.
Or is it The Rock? Like that's the thing. They're pulling
Right.
the strings a little bit.
Like who's pulling the strings? You got Gorilla's Destiny there. I like the fact that I didn't even know Tongaloa's contract was up in New Japan. No, that was like kept a secret, so that was good on them. Right. So he's over there at Backlash. By the way, that France crowd at Backlash really good.
Him.
I can't get enough of it.
Hey,
so
that was the
good.
French kiss.
Yes. So good. Wow. So good. Yeah. International wrestling crowds are so good. They really.
I petitioned Jim. I was gonna tell you last week. I petitioned every wrestling event to be in that French crowd. I mean, Jesus, that place was absolutely
insane. I think 2028 World Championships in hockey are going to be in Lyon, France, and Paris. So I mean, I definitely think next year there will be a stadium show in France.
They show out. They show out because UFC's gone there now. Think back-to-back years, and their UFC crowds, and even when the PFL has gone there, it is. I mean, it's the same thing as at WWE from beginning to end.
They were hot.
Yes, they're like that in every like mixed martial. They're that way for MMA. They're that way for. I'm like, yeah, you got. Whatever y'all French people got over here, keep doing what you're doing because you're making us look bad.
That's what I said. I said they make us look bad for sports and they make us look bad for wrestling. Like we really have to up our game. French crowd, great. Backlash was fine. I didn't care. It was great pay-per-view, good pay-per-view. Matches were fine, predictable, whatever. That all totally good. Thought Backlash was really good. And again, if you were paying attention, and I know I wasn't on last week, if you were paying attention, saw the tweet on Friday, and I told you all it was going to WrestleMania, it was going to be in Vegas, but boom goes the dime. Boom,
another Baron Shabam. Another Baron Shabam. He did. Unfortunately, it's 2 nights again, but we'll settle for we'll have to settle.
The fact that it's going to be in Vegas is going to be cool. I think they're going to try to make up for WrestleMania 9. That was their miscarriages of justice, the whole thing. But I like it's in Vegas. It'll be cool. It'll be fun. And it's going to be in April, late April, right? Late April.
Yeah, I think. That's 420, Jim. That's why I said 420 in Vegas.
420. That's it.
Hey,
Yeah, it's it. That's it. Should be. I mean, look, I think they're setting up Rock Cody for next year. We'll see. Who knows what they do. But look, the product's been good. WWE's on fire right now. You can be critical of certain things that they do.
Sure.
Again, you should be because do I think Cody AJ was 5-star? You can tell the guys who wrestled out of this company and the guys who haven't. And Triple H is basically taking off the handcuffs. If you wrestled anywhere outside of WWE, you can have any type of match you want. You could tell Jey Uso's been a WWE guy. He wrestles one way.
Yep, agreed. AEW's been building. It seems like they're building it back up. I'm kind of enjoying this new EVP stuff. I love having Swerve as the champion. I like what's going on there. But I want to ask you real quick before we get you out of here, Jim. Kenny Omega, have we seen the last? Because we know that's not kayfabe. The diverticulitis is real.
No. Yeah.
But have we seen the last of Kenny Omega? Brock Lesnar has come back from diverticulitis, and he wrestled, but it affects everybody individually, just like everybody else.
I think we haven't seen the last of Kenny Omega. I think think you're going to get a few more matches out of him, but I do think they're going to be careful with him, and I think he's going to play up his EVP card more than he has in the past. Like he's talked about it. Yeah, I'm an EVP, but I really don't want to do anything with it. I think this is now what we're going to see until he's really healthy enough to like get past this thing. And I really like what they're doing with the EVPs, with the new elite. Jack Perry's really come a long way with his promos. They were just over New Japan Strong. They just invaded a show, beat up Eddie Kingston. So there's a lot of crossover going on. Again, with the one thing we always complain, not enough storylines, not enough, oh, these are just random matches. They're doing a good thing with this, whatever you want to call it, NWO Elite kind of thing going on. I really enjoy it. I'm liking it. There's something constant every week now on Collision and you know what's going to happen when those guys are there. They're going to take over the show. They're just going to run rampant. You want to see what's next. Swerve, you know, his group turned on him. He's a babyface now, babyface champion. He's over. I like the fact that he's got the belt. You know, Christian first opponent. All right, whatever. It should be a fine match. I like that. You know, BCC. You know, all these guys that hate the elite, they're going after each other. Hopefully, maybe Kenny can. With Kenny's promo, he talked about a few months. I gotta believe they're gonna try it. He's going to try his damnedest for Wembley and Okada. I really, really think that's when he's gonna try to be 100% healthy, or as close to it as possible.
Hey Jim, we appreciate you joining us every Monday. We missed you last week.
I missed you last week. I don't know what happened, Links. Who knows with this stuff? But
I took care of you, Jim. I
appreciate. Yeah, you take care of me every week. You know that. LA Knight all
day.
Care
for a lot of guys.
Yeah, he does. Oh, real quick, I will say
only
this.
One Jim though. Only one.
I think if they want to do it and he can get cleared, the way Nigel McGuinness has been talking about Danielson, I would not be shocked. Bryan Danielson, Nigel McGuinness at All In.
I agree. I thought they were setting that up even last year. I thought, Jim. Jim, we appreciate you joining us every Monday night. We missed you last week. Thanks for catching us up at all things hockey and wrestling, Jim. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week, Jim.
Always see me next week. We'll be here.
Love it, Jim. Thank you.
The undeniable Kavorka between Jim and the megastar
L.A. Knight. Yeah. All right, guys, take it easy.
See you, Jim.
See you, dude.
Peace.
Hey, real quick, I didn't mention this. We didn't talk about this off the top, Tanner. But we were talking about this Wolves and Nuggets series. It's 2-2. Just think if the NBA had suspended Jamal Murray for throwing the bag of ice, for throwing the heating pad, where this series,
right?
Yeah, I think he threw an ice first and then a heating pad, or was it a towel? He threw two things.
I just saw the heating pad clip. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
threw two things. Well, he threw, I think, a towel, and that didn't reach. And then he threw the heating pad. But just think where this series could have been at had they suspended him and said they just fined him $100 million. I get it as far as like, hey, they don't want to affect the series. But if you think back to 2016, they didn't say the same thing for Draymond Green when they suspended him, and they let the Cavs kind of sneak back in.
That's Draymond, Nick. All right, Draymond's getting suspended if he accidentally spits a tiny little droplet on somebody. All right, that's just what Draymond is. Okay, I go back to so I'm looking at something similar, right? But this time, I guess it's more fan interaction than it is player interaction. But Pat Bev got suspended 4 games for tossing the ball back to a fan. Yes, maybe it's because of the fan versus players, but it feels like something more should have come of that heat pad incident. Because
he got fined $100 million, which I mean,
well, I mean that's not chump change, right? That's not chump change. I don't care who you are. That's not chump change. Yeah, but it just feels like there should have been a game, right? A game, something in there. Yeah, exactly, Alan. If Draymond farts awkwardly, he's gonna get fined. Truly, like that's how far up the list Draymond is right now. But I don't know. I don't feel like justice was done because this player's safety. What if either team would have slipped on it, got hurt, and now they're out for the whole rest of the playoffs, and that could cost Minnesota a series. That could cost Denver a series. If somebody potentially slips on it. I feel like it was more player safety. Something more should have been done. I really do.
I feel
I'm not saying like 4 games, but give me a game. Give me a game.
Or just suspend him for a certain amount of games in the regular season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could have said, hey, you at the beginning we're going to let you play the postseason because these games are the most important games of the season. But then just say, hey, but you're going to suspend it for the first 3 games of next year.
Here's a 5 marked. First five of the season. See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that'd be okay too. But just a fine, in a way, just feels like a slap on the wrist for him.
Yeah, you saying something about chump change triggered my brain. So they actually had the first face-off today for the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight that's going to happen in, I think, June 20th.
Oh, they did? I haven't seen this clip.
June 20th, yeah. They had the first face-off. Listen, so it is July 20th. Sorry, so we got 2 months time.
Yeah, July. Sorry, yeah.
July 20th. Listen to this. Speaking of chump change, right? Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson on July 20th will offer boxing's first ever $2 million VIP ticket package, which includes 2 unique ringside apron seats, security escort during the fight night. I don't know why you need that, but I guess if you're dropping,
I'm a dangerous man. These hands.
Unless you're throwing stuff at Mike Tyson, maybe.
I want to get put on a dolly and led down there like Hannibal Lecter. Like
we're a pre-fight photo with Paul and Tyson, glove signed by Paul. Glove signed by Paul and Tyson. You get a place on the stage during the weigh-in, so you get to sit on the behind him on the weigh-ins, and a post-fight in-ring photo and more. Does that sound like a cool $2 million? Worth $2 million?
No, not a chance.
Not fam.
Sounds cool.
No.
Nope.
No thanks. I think I'll just live my
if I got to corner them, right? Like if I got to alternate rounds and I got to corner each fighter and run over there in the corner and tell them, hey Mike, you got to fucking
Yeah, what are you doing, man? Yeah. Unleash your anger.
Next round, you got to go over to fucking Jake Paul and you're fucking yelling at him. That might be worth $2 million.
Fight his ear off. Do it again. You've done it once. You'll do it again. Damn it.
And you
fight that man.
Run over to him. Run back to Tyson.
But $2 million for all that.
Cards. Do it.
$2 million for all that.
All right, well, let me just go find my ATM card real quick. Get right on that.
Can I borrow somebody's?
Yeah.
The way my bank account works, I got to I'm gonna have to write a few IOUs for that.
That's as good as cash, sir. Those are IOUs.
That's $2 million. That's a keeper.
$2 million in Monopoly money, or
oh my lord!
In other news, while we're waiting on Grisham here, the Lions paid not Matthew Stafford, but Jared Goff.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the contract on that?
4 years.
$175 million.
It hurts my feelings. I'll tell you that. Like, it's offensive.
It hurts your feelings.
It hurts my feelings. I think I saw the final number of it. Let me see if I can find it.
4 year, $212 million contract extension that includes $170 guaranteed.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Ooh. How much?
I mean, they're paying. The Lions opened up checkbooks. They paid Amon St. Brown, a Penny Sewell, and now they're paying Jared Goff.
These things happen. Golly. Never thought Jared Goff would be here. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, kudos to him. Yeah. The fans were chanting for him, Jared Goff, and the Lions said, hey, we're paying him.
Hey,
I mean,
last 2 seasons in the NFL, he was second in passing yards. He was third in touchdowns, fourth in QB wins, First division title since 1993.
Woo-hoo.
First playoff win since 1991 in the NFC Championship game. Pay the guy. He's been in Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Pay the man.
You know, pay the man.
One more
Two
playoff game
franchises
to Matt
he's
Stafford
been able to
already. In the
Give
line
the man
uniform.
his money. Give the
Pay
man his
that man his money.
Give that man his money.
I hate what obviously everybody on Twitter, they always ask, is it overpaid, underpaid, just enough?
Not in this
I would
market.
I always say you're paid whatever they're willing to pay you. And for him, who are the Lions gonna go get today that's better than Jared Goff?
You're not.
Exactly.
You're not. Goff, that was the correct way to do it. Yeah, 4 years, figure it out, right? And just go with it. Like you're fine. You're fine. It's a great move.
It's over.
You're in a building franchise right now. You're winning games. Why mess it up by not extending a quarterback that took you to an NFC Championship game? God's sake!
You were up.
Year,
weren't they up? They were up 21-0 in that game. I mean, they were really 2 quarters away from to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Really, I guess 2 minutes away. Where they had the lead late in that game.
They did. But
Like they went for like a 4th down. Yeah, they were up 17-0 in the 4th, I think.
Y'all ready for Brady's first game in the booth? How do you think he's going to do?
Hey, you remember I told Alan this on Twitter. When's the last time the Cowboys saw Brady? In week 1. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
It was not a fun game.
Sean by a million. Let's go.
Yeah, I think Brady will do. He's too good now. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's fine. It's fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
No concerns at all. The GOAT's going to take care of business, right?
Oh yeah. He'll take care of business.
With his shiny white teeth and his pretty hair.
Yeah. Kudos to him, man.
What if he stinks though? Like, what if he's like late? Like it's those awkward like TV silences that sometimes you hear. It's like
He can't be any worse than Romo.
Oh, he can't be any worse than Tiki Barber. God dang.
No.
Oh, he's bad.
We've seen bad ones. I think a lot of people will forgive Tom Brady if he's anything, not what we expected going in the booth. I think he's gonna be fine though. I really do.
Yeah, I do too.
Come on, Tommy. Talk about the sports, Tommy.
Well, he just got roasted on TV. I think he's
Yeah, and he handled that, and then he had great comebacks as well. Obviously, calling sports and having something written down is a little different, but he'll be fine. Yeah,
when you're doing research and stuff, yeah.
Guys, Grishman's giving us that stare from the waiting room.
All right, we'll go ahead. Yeah, we'll bring it. It's time to talk a little baseball. His Braves just beat my Cubs 2-0. His team that he coaches had a great season, but unfortunately fell short over the weekend. But he never falls short on this show. He represents to the fullest capacity which he expects from his own players. Give it up for our favorite baseball coach, Jonathan Grishman, baby.
Woo!
Let's go.
Seriously, so bad with that stare, I have to pee.
How's it going, guys? How's it going?
What's up, man?
Good. Jonathan, I know you guys won the first game of the tournament, but you guys did fall short. Talk to us about what happened out over the weekend real quick before we get into professional baseball.
Yeah, I mean, that NOC Tonko, we lost to on Friday, that was the team that I circled that was going to be our toughest test. They are one of the best offensive teams in the country. They have 3 hitters in their lineup that were batting over 400 in the regular season.
Dang! What are their names? Ruth, Williams, and Gehrig?
I mean, the way that they swung the bat and the way that we didn't pitch to them very well. I mean, you would argue that they probably were. And so it's just it's tough. I don't think with our game plan as far as how to handle them, handle those hitters, the big bats they had was really done well. But there's only so much you can do when it comes to little dink hits here and there, and then all of a sudden you give up a home run that it kind of breaks your spirit a little bit. But that was a good team. We competed against, and I actually looked at it and we hadn't faced a team since February that was better than us. In conference play, every team that we've competed with, we were equal or better than. So we came across a team that was better than us, and we didn't know really how to respond to it after it showed. And then the next day, we didn't recover from the Friday night game. We were kind of trying to figure out, okay, well, what do we do now? And putting a little bit more pressure because it's an elimination game against a rival that we have beaten and competed with over the season. We've beaten them. We won the 2 series against them, but you're when you get beaten down by an opponent like we did Friday night, it broke our spirit. I look at it in that way, and we just did not recover quick enough to be able to be ready to play. Not an excuse, and I told the boys that it's not an excuse, but it's a reality. It's a reality in an elimination style tournament that you're going to have to find a quick way to turn around. But, hats off to the teams that we competed with. And I'm proud of our boys for what they did this season. I'm proud of it. They still
good season, boys.
Yeah.
They still battle.
Fabulous season.
They still battle through it and everything. They competed hard. But like I said, I'm proud of them. I love those kids. I'm beaming with pride that they were able to do what they did this season.
Phenomenal.
Good stuff.
Hey, hell of a job coaching them up, Coach, and best of luck to you. Hey, that's part of growing. That's part of developing it as a young player and turning and realizing, hey, we got to forget about yesterday and focus on today.
Well, so real quick, as I just posted it on Twitter, I know Sam was saw this too. So I'll actually I'll go ahead and announce I am actually heading to a different college this upcoming fall season. Coastal Bend College down in South Texas, a Division I JUCO program. So a little bit higher up, a little bit bigger role forward. So I appreciate the kids. I appreciate the kids at Rich Mountain for the opportunity to be able to coach.
Before you leave, can you steal some hats and send them to us?
Yeah, we want some swag, bro.
At Rich Mountain or Coastal?
Both. We'll take both.
Well, Coastal looks like blue color, so I'll take that. Come on.
Well, you would like. So yeah, Sam, you would like it because it is. It's powder blue or baby blue and navy. So colors that are close to your heart with your Titans, I'm sure. But yeah,
feel goods, baby.
I appreciate the opportunity that Rich Mountain gave me this season. And like I said, the boys, they were outstanding group of young men that will treasure the moments I've had with them this year, being able to help them grow and compete. But at the same time, they helped me grow as a coach. And man, just again, a blessing that those young men were for me. But the opportunity was a good one that was presented to me. A little bit of a higher role, bigger role for me. So I've already kind of started on the recruiting trail right now. No rest for the weary, but I'm excited for Coastal Bend College and what I'm going to be able to do. It's a program again. They are actually in arguably one of the toughest conferences in junior college in the country. Some of the really good programs that are in there. So I'm excited for the challenge. And I'm excited for the opportunity to go work for those young men and maybe work with the coaching staff that knows the value that I can bring to the program. And I'm excited for that opportunity.
What are we going to be coaching?
Nashville A's talk there, Alan. Nashville A's. Why you got to do that, man? Why you got to do
that? Are you going to be a hitting coach still?
Yeah, I'm still going to be working with the hitters and fielders. There's going to be it's a little bit more open, well-rounded for me. But yeah, I'm going to be working with the hitters again, working with fielders, probably working with both infield and outfield this time, so a little bit more expanded on that side of it. But again, he's going to allow the head coach is going to allow me a little bit more free reign as far as working with any guys on the team, whether it is working with pitchers. I can work with some of the pitchers, but being able to step in and work with the hitters, which is something I love doing. Y'all know that. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, like I said, just a little bit more of an expanded role, a little bit more free reign to work with under the head coach of the program. And yeah, like Alan said, the ultimate goal is being a head coach for myself, but it's a step-by-step ladder. You got to climb up the ladder to be able to get to that point, and that's what Coastal Bend is allowing me the opportunity to do.
You can do what Sam does to get ahead, and that's give head, but I don't think you want to do that.
I don't think that's what I do, but okay.
Jonathan, I got to ask you.
so vulgar. I was like, dang.
I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help
Look
myself.
at chat and watch my
I
Guardian.
had a feeling I knew what was coming, and
That's all I
had to
want. That's all I want, man. Why you got crushed so bad?
I got to ask you, Paul Skeens made his MLB debut on Saturday. He looked,
Who?
I mean,
Who?
threw hard. He threw hard. Paul
Who'd you
Skeens.
say, Nick?
Paul
Paul
Skeens.
who?
Paul
Scoons?
Skeens.
Hey,
Skeens?
Jonathan, how about Paul Scoons, man?
Bless you.
Was that how you say his name?
No, it's Skeens.
Skeens.
Paul Skeens. Skeens. Tomato. You know who the fuck I'm talking about here.
I have
Paul
such
Skeens.
little self-confidence from your comment. I was like, oh, I've been calling him Skeens the whole time. Wow.
Paul Skeens made his MLB debut. Looked pretty good in 4 innings. I was surprised the Pirates took him out when they Cubs finally got some ducks on the pond there. But your immediate takeaway as far for this kid in just the one game.
Yeah, I mean, it was much anticipated, and I've been looking forward to this since he got drafted. Being an LSU guy, a national champion at LSU, the entire state of Louisiana has been excited about Skeens and the opportunity for him to get his big league debut. And it was as advertised, in my opinion. I kind of figured he was going to go 4 or 5 innings, pitch count. Again, they have him on a pitch count, which it's amazing what he can do. And I'm going to segue real quick, and I'll go back to talking about Skeens, how he pitched in Pittsburgh. He dominated at LSU pitching 7, 8, 9 inning ball games, throwing 100 pitches. I never understand.
Said I was your favorite, Robert.
I never understand why major league teams all of a sudden put pitchers on a pitch count immediately and just be like, well, we're not going to let you go 100 pitches. We're going to ease you into that's kind of way, in my opinion, where injuries to pitchers does occur, is that you baby them so much, their bodies are not conditioned to pitch 100 pitches. And when you allow them to go 100 pitches after pitching 70 pitches for 5, 6, 7 starts, then you let them loose a little bit more. And then, they all of a sudden start getting hurt because the body's not able to handle the amount of workload that they're putting under. So I never understand, but I knew he was going to be on a pitch count. I expected 5 innings. He went 4. I expected 7 strikeouts. He did get 7. About 5 hits around that is what he was. And so to me, he did exactly what I thought he was going to do. And what was exciting is, what's going to create the electricity of him pitching, and is the 100 miles an hour pitches that he throws. He threw, I think it was 10 fastest pitches. The 10 fastest pitches thrown by a starting pitcher this season.
Ooh.
And the best part about it, if you watch Paul Skeens, what is amazing for me, and I watched a little bit more of a breakdown of his starts. It's so effortless. It is absolutely effortless how he throws. It looks like he's playing catch, and the ball explodes at 100 102 miles an hour. It's amazing that we have not seen anything like this. It's Roger Clemens.
This is what Joey Votto tweeted out about it. Watching Skeens reminds me of facing Strasburg after his call-up. I took a fastball, my first at-bat, looked up and saw 100 on the board. I thought, uh-oh. The next pitch, the best curveball I'd ever seen. Gulp. Same could be saying about the changeup later. I was like, ugh, emoji. The beautiful game keeps moving forward. So he compared it to Strasburg. Which, Votto didn't face Rogers, so you know what I mean? Like, he's going from his –
I get the comparison of Strasburg because the hype. The hype of Strasburg was so high when he came into the big leagues too, and it was the same. He came in. He spent 364 days from the time he got drafted to making his big league debut. Skeens very much shorter, but it was still within the timeline of in that aspect of. So I get the hype around the comparison of Strasburg and Skeens, but Strasburg when he pitched, it looked like it took more to get to 100 miles an hour. Where again, like I said, Skeens looks like he's just playing catch. There's not a lot of extra movement of him to throw and pitch, and the ball just explodes out of his hand. And so that's the exciting part, and that's what I'm hoping. And I said this earlier. I hope the way he does pitch and the way his body is conditioned to handle what it is, because he's a big guy too. He's 6'5", and he's 6'5", 230 pounds. So he's a big boy. I'm hoping the way he pitches, the way his mechanics are, and the way his body type is will prevent an injury that that we will see down the road from him throwing 100 miles an hour. Again, we can use the comparison of, as far as body type, Aroldis Chapman. Aroldis Chapman's a big guy. And when I said this to you guys last week when talking about, he's a big guy, and he's avoided the injury, but that major injury throughout his career. He's had some shoulder problems here and there, but he's never had the elbow injury that we all know that guys get when they throw 100+ miles an hour. Skeen's body type is similar. He's a big lean, and I know that's kind of like a little bit of a mixed bag of characteristics, but he's a lean, big, 230 pounds. And so I think that's going to help him. And again, the way he pitches will prevent, I'm hoping, I'm knocking on wood, prevent that big injury that we know pitchers get when they throw that hard. But my goodness, it's amazing to watch. And he has that slider. That slider is filthy. It is absolutely disgusting. It's the same mechanic throwing from the fastball to the slider. You cannot tell what he throws until you see the ball leave his hand. And that's so disgusting to face. And I mean, I've gotten to face Clayton Kershaw. I couldn't imagine facing Paul Skeens. I think we're going to talk, and this is such an early conversation about, but we're talking about a guy that's going to, that if everything goes well, and I'm saying that's a big if at this point of his career, if everything goes well, we're talking about a Hall of Fame pitcher right now. Rob wants
to know, what do 100-mile-an-hour pitchers do to an arm?
There's so much tension in that's put on the ligaments that, again, it's hard to explain to exactly, but the tension and wear and tear on the ligaments of the elbow, the ligaments and the tendons on the shoulder, it does. Again, throwing a baseball is such an unnatural motion that, again, the trainers and physiologists, they say that every time you throw a baseball, you're essentially doing a motion that's dislocating your shoulder because of the rotator cuff and everything that's protecting the ball and socket. It doesn't move like that as natural as we would kind of think. So you're talking about 100 miles an hour pitches. The body has to be able to, one, be conditioned, but it also has to be genetically able to handle such things. That's why we see guys who are smaller build that do throw 100 miles an hour, and their bodies don't handle it. Jacob deGrom, who's a tall guy, but he's a very lean guy. His body cannot handle 100 miles an hour. It's been exploding, since he started getting to that point of throwing 100 miles an hour. His body's been rejecting it. So that there's a lot. I'm trying to use the right word to paint the best picture, but there's so much. I'll just have to use the word tension. That it's such an unnatural thing because you're in 100 miles an hour. We see it more in today's game, but it's still amazing to see because it's not natural to throw a baseball 100 miles an hour. No matter how much we put it out there, no matter how much we see it, no matter how much we paint the picture that this is becoming the norm, it's not normal. The body is not able to handle such movements. So we're seeing things, again, that the body has to be able to handle, and it's just so hard to do.
Do you think he'll end up being a closer? Because like we talked about, like him being throwing 100 miles an hour and trying the longevity through 7-8 innings, 90 pitches at a time, like that's hard. Do you see where we could get to where he's just like a closer instead?
For DeGrom,
right? No, for Skeens.
Oh, no. Paul Skeens. No. Paul Skeens is a starting pitcher. He's been a starting pitcher his entire career everywhere he's gone. You're not moving him, and there's an investment to him to be the number one pitcher in Pittsburgh for right now. Because I know we've seen this. We've seen this.
They'll trade him. They'll trade him. He'll be gone in a couple years.
We've seen this play out with Pittsburgh because of Garrett Cole. So we know, like, he will pitch himself out of what the Pirates can afford. And he'll go to an organization. He'll get traded to an organization that he's going to be getting one of the highest paid contracts at some point down the road. So, no, he's not going to be a closer. His investment is going to be as a starter. He's been a starter his entire career, and that's what he's going to be for now as well.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm right there with it. I agree. I don't think he's anything else but a starter.
I would love to have him just for one game. Just
I think 29 other teams would love to have Paul Skeens right now.
Yeah.
I would take him too.
yeah, but I deserve it more. So
Oh, okay. Okay, sure.
I'm up 4-0 against the Rangers in the bottom of the 8th right now. So
Attaboy.
Ay. Rally.
I did get to enjoy the Braves game today. Nick, how did you enjoy it? How did you enjoy
Well,
the game?
I knew it was coming.
I mean, our manager got the fucking boot. You know, our offense didn't show up. I said your team beat me. I mean, it's one game of the 3-game series. We're not supposed to beat y'all. You know what I mean? So I thought tonight would be our best option with Showtime pitching, but our offense didn't show up. Our offense has been up and down for the most part. It seems like at times when we're hot, and when we're cold, well, you get tonight where you give up only 2 and you lose. So it's the first time Shote has pitched and the Cubs didn't win, which I mean that's kind of I figured that would happen to the Braves.
Let me ask you boys real quick. I mean, is Ronaldo Lopez just the biggest surprise as far as how he's pitched this year? I mean, he was a reliever last. He's been a reliever in the big most of his career, and we're seeing something that we haven't seen Ronaldo do as a big league pitcher, and that's be a starting pitcher, and he is absolutely tearing it up.
He's killing it.
And well. So I mean, in that move, with Alex Anthopoulos signing Ronaldo Lopez, that was a very critical decision by Braves fans. They didn't understand why they went and got Ronaldo Lopez, and they thought, well, he's going to be a middle reliever for this bullpen, and they would be happy about that. When they said, oh no, he's a starting pitcher, they're like in panic mode. Like, why are we getting Ronaldo Lopez? We should go and get Dylan Cease. Well, damn, Alex Anthopoulos, another genius move on his part, getting Ronaldo Lopez, who's paying off right now.
And
the only issue there is he got taken out. Lopez got taken out today due to back tightness.
Okay, I knew his pitch count was low. He normally has a lower pitch count. They keep him around the 70s to low 80s on a pitch count when it starts, just to kind of protect him. But I didn't know. I didn't see at that point that he had an injury. So
it went 5 innings. So I picked him up on my fantasy team. I picked him off the free agent list way early in the season. So I was like, this is a guy that even if he doesn't work out as a reliever, he might even flex his way in because I needed somebody there, and it's worked out perfect. Out perfect.
I also have back tightness from carrying this show, so I get it. I get it.
You setting yourself up again? Damn.
I have to redouble. Nick hit me hard earlier. You can't just sit there. If you're playing defense, you're not playing offense. You know what I mean?
Jonathan, one thing that MLB has struggled, it seems like, is broadcast game, but they've now inked a deal with Roku to broadcast games. I think specifically on Sunday. How huge is that for MLB? Because one thing when I talk to other MLB fans is you can't ever fucking find the damn games on TV.
No, and the benefit, and the one thing for me is I have the MLB channel, like the app.
I
can go watch. I'm watching now. Yeah,
I can go watch Braves games here in Texas. I watched them when I was in Arkansas.
I'm glad you can watch your team. I mean, I can watch the Brewers, but I can't watch the Royals.
And that's where I'm going with it. Again, like, is it a big deal? Yeah, it's a big deal as long as if you're able to get have Roku and you're able to get it and watch. The one thing Major League Baseball has to do, and we all know where I'm going with this because it's the big thing that fans absolutely killed MLB about, is end the damn blackouts. Allow the team's fans at home to watch the game. Like that is the only argument that needs to be made to Major League Baseball, which is fine. You added Roku, great. You can I go on Amazon Prime and watch on the MLB app, and I watch Braves. That's fine. But in the lockout, because again, if the Braves when the Braves played the Rangers, I couldn't get to watch that. I couldn't get them to watch because I was in the market of Texas.
The Rangers.
I didn't get a chance to watch the game. In the blackouts, end it. That's the only thing that needs to be happening. And for some reason, I don't know why Major League Baseball is so enamored on not even having that discussion. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's sad too because baseball is a very regional sport. I feel like your St. Louis's, your Royals, your Cleveland's like that. Like those are the only. I mean, really, the St. Louis and the Cardinals. That's all they got, other than the Blues. But like, it's just so right now, like baseball is king in the summertime. Like that's when fans want to go. Now they have increased fans going to the ballpark for the first time last year, but like they got to in the blackouts, like you said, because it's a regional sport. Like teams are, fans want to watch like their local teams. Not very people are like myself or you, Jonathan, where we're a fan of a team that we're not localized close to, that we can't watch local games.
Me too.
And that's the thing. That's the thing that's frustrating is that they've made rule changes to the games to, as I'm using their words verbatim here, enhance the TV viewing experience for fans. The faster games was not for the fans in the stadium. It was to make sure that fans can watch them on TV and not have to watch a 3-hour ball game on TV. They wanted to make sure they can have a 2.5-hour game because they think that fans will sit and watch the games on TV more. But guess what? The fans in Atlanta can't watch Braves games. The fans in St. Louis can't watch Cardinals games. The fans in Texas and Arlington can't watch the Rangers games. So exactly how did you enhance the viewing experience if you're in the market of your team and you can't watch them? So let's okay, great. The rule changes, you made it all, this faster paced game, which you think is such a great thing. But the one thing you still have not to acknowledge is the blackouts. So I don't really want to talk about TV viewing, Bally, and their issues that they're dealing with bankruptcy or Roku or Amazon or anything about that until the blackouts end and all fans can watch their teams, whether they're in the market or outside the market.
How does the NFL get away with showing almost every game no problem? And yet we're stuck here in the MLB and we can't watch anything local.
Well, no, you still have to. They make a deal with remember, actually for the NFL, it used to be where they had to have a certain number of fans before that game to be at or be able to watch a percentage of the viewers, if I remember correctly. Otherwise, games did get blacked out.
50% seats at the Panthers last year.
Correct. So they still have blackout issues. Jaguars had their games blacked out quite a bit for a while too. So they still have blackouts, but there's check marks that you have to achieve to prevent a blackout. But they went ahead and just said they have it. And again, the NFL is national. The NFL is a national sport. You're going to watch it. Everybody, no matter if it's your team or not, they're going to watch the NFL. As you said, Major League Baseball is regional. It is absolutely. So go back to what it used to. Go back. I think like this. Go back to it. Let the teams handle their own TV deals. Braves were on TBS in the 90s. Cubs on WGN. Yankees on WGN. Let the teams do their own stuff instead of trying to make this a national broadcast. With Bally's trying to be controlling everything, which we found out Bally can't afford to have everything. That's why they filed bankruptcy. But let the Braves go and let the Braves go back to TBS. The Cubs on WGN, the White Sox on WGN. Let their own media networks in their town view the games, and let them be in charge of their own TV contracts. And then you expand it from there, and you can show the games not only regionally, but you can show the games nationally too. When you have TBS, who does a national game on the weekends, you have ESPN, you have ABC, you have Fox Sports. Let everybody else handle that side, the national stuff, and let the team handle the regional side on their own.
Hell yeah.
Fully agree.
Agreed. I love it. Preach. Testify. As somebody that's currently watching Bally Sports now, I'm about this life.
I mean, even on the MLB app, Braves are on Bally's. So I mean, but again, we know that's not going to last much longer as they're handling their bankruptcy issues right now.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just waiting for the full fallout of that. So,
Jonathan, I want to get you out of here on this last question. We've talked a lot about the Astros and their struggles, but is there any way we mentioned the Cardinals? So I'm going to throw the Cardinals, and let's just say the Blue Jays. Those are a couple teams that we all kind of had either to win their division, finish second or third in their division. Can the Cardinals or the Blue Jays turn this damn thing around, or are they just a sinking, floating shithole? Which, for a Cub fan, I'd love to see.
I'm wondering who picked the Cardinals to win the division.
I I said first or second. Some people.
I want to know who that. I said the Cardinals going to be the last place team in this division.
Well, it wasn't
Mr.
me.
Second for the
Wasn't
Cardinals, Nick.
what,
Not me. I might have said second, but I'm a Cubs.
I was again. The surprise for me was Ali Marmol getting a contract extension. That was a surprise for me. They're committed. They're committing. So that just told me the Cardinals, which is one of the franchises over the last 30 years that has been known for consistency of winning. They are.
Longer than 30 years. It's like 50 years. I fucking feel.
Well, again, I've only been around for 33 years, so in my life, I've known the Cardinals to be a consistent winner and everything like that. But they're committing to mediocrity now with Ali Marmol, and the process.
Hell yeah!
And we can all agree on it. Not only did they commit to mediocrity, but they've shunned their favorite Cardinal, Yadier Molina, where he's now almost in a way of boycotting because he's under contract as a special advisor to the team, and he hasn't been in St. Louis all year.
Yes,
especially since they've announced the contract extension of Ali Marmol. It almost seems like they lied to Yadi because they said you're the next man up if things go south. Well, how much further south does the Cardinals have to go before they admit that Ali Marmol is not the right guy in charge? And you just ruined your opportunity to bring in Yadi, the St. Louis's favorite son, and to try to turn this franchise around. So, between the two, as far as Blue Jays and Cardinals, who has the better opportunity to turn the season around for them? I'm going Blue Jays. I'm going. Blue Jays are only 3 games under 500 right now. I know they're 7.5 back in the division, but they're still competitive and they're still able to kind of they have a lot of talent. It's just the moves they've made on the pitching staff is where their issue has been. They have not made the right moves pitching wise, but you can fix that by making one right move to hopefully add to that staff and get better that way. I don't see how you can get better in St. Louis. You're 8 games under 500 right now. You're 2-8 in your last 10, 8 games back of the Brewers. Minus 51 run differential. And the worst part is even though you're 16-24, the analytics say you should be worse than that. You should be 14-26. So you stole 2 games in the process of what the analytics are saying. Whereas I'm looking at the Blue Jays to make sure I'm speaking here, 16-25. So the Blue Jays did the same. They're 3 games above where the analytics say they're supposed to be. But I have a little bit more faith in what's going on in Toronto than I do with the Cardinals. And your ability to commit to mediocrity is such an issue that we're shocked that this is taking place in St. Louis. At least I am. And so at some point, roster decisions are going to be made in St. Louis. You can't keep Arenado and Goldschmidt in being a last place team. You're going to have to make a decision on how you're going to go about this.
I'll say this. Obviously, living here in Missouri, 99% of my friends are all Cardinal fans, and they're complaining about it. And I just say, I love to see it, but their comeback is, "Oh, talk to us when you got more championships than we do." Yeah, we're fucking standby. Years ago, guys. Like we're talking about today. Look at today and look at the last decade. The Cubs have been proven to be better than the Cardinals the last 10 years. So shut your mouths. We're talking about now, not the fucking past. Get over yourselves. You guys stink. Shut your pie holes.
This guy's spitting.
You get one World Series in 110 years, and you think you're all that in Chicago now. Is that what it is?
No. I know. No. I'm saying in the last 10 years, winning record-wise, we've been better than them. That's all I'm saying. And that is a proven fact.
You get one World Series.
7-0 going in the bottom of the 9th, baby.
I'm just tired. I'm tired of Cardinal fans being like, we got 11 of them. First of all, 4 of those were born in the 70s and shit when half of y'all weren't even alive. So shut your trap holes.
The legacy, man. It's passed down from my father.
Yeah.
No,
I think the South is going to rise again for its legacy.
I agree to an extent because I think it's been more half and half. The last 10 years, probably 5 have been in favor of the Cardinals, 5 have been in favor of the Cubs right now. So I kind of think it's half and half. I think the Cardinals spiraling downhill right now does make it seem like the Cubs have endured more success in recent times because they have at the moment the last 2 years. But I don't understand the plan in St. Louis right now. I just don't. You have a lot of talent, but you don't have the right people in charge, and that goes to the manager, and that certainly goes to the front office. The right people are not in charge in St. Louis, and the wrong people are making the wrong decisions, and that is not a recipe for success. And then they're admitting they're kind of admitting that they're oblivious to the issues right now in the front office and manager job, and they don't know what they're doing to fix it because they don't see it.
Amen
Well, and
to
the
that.
comparison injury
Fair enough.
doesn't help anything for St. Louis.
No,
either.
broken hand.
Yeah. Forearm, right? Wasn't it a forearm?
Yeah, with
Oh,
the bat, broken forearm. Yeah.
Oh, that was rough. That was rough.
Yeah.
Real
So, and, like,
quick to mention that, Jonathan,
Yeah.
they told him to move up in the box. Like it wasn't the hitter's fault. It was literally the Cardinals like, hey, move up forward into the box to help your framing. And this is what happens. What do you make of that real quick before we get up out of here?
Wilson Contreras has been in the big leagues for how long?
At least 2014, 15. 15,
so
I
10 years. So let's just say 10 years.
10 years. Yeah. 10 years. Yeah.
I feel like he knows his positioning. I feel like he knows how to play the catcher position in the big leagues. I feel like he knows.
Been an all-star, multiple time all-star, by the way.
I feel like he knows where he's comfortable in the position of where he's at. I don't understand. I'll go back to the same thing. I just don't understand. I don't understand what if they're doing all this with, and they don't trust, they don't believe, or there's just something, this chemistry or lack thereof with Wilson Contreras and in St. Louis that they just have no idea they have no idea what they have with him. And I know Cubs fans, how much y'all appreciated Wilson Contreras for what he did in Chicago, and he goes to St. Louis and he's absolutely treated like garbage, and he's acting like they don't act like he has no clue how to play the catcher position in the big leagues. I feel like after 10 years, you know your positioning, you know where you're at, you know how to frame, you know how, he was known as one of the best catchers in the game for most of that decade. He's been up there with JT Realmuto. He's been up there with Buster Posey. He's been up there with Joe
Yachty,
Salvador Perez. And we talk about Wilson Contreras as one of the top 5, top 3 catchers in the game. Does he not know his own positioning? Does he not know how to frame? You're going to sit here and tell him move up. And when you tell him to do that, he gets hurt immediately. I mean,
something's up. Something's up there.
I'm not going to say something's up with it, but dear Lord, like, what did you?
Do you think? Maybe this is conspiracy theory because Marmol knows that's Yachty's guy. Yachty's the one that brought Willie in, and that's his guy. Do you think like, hey, fuck that guy because that's the guy that's maybe the guy that's supposed to replace me's guy?
I mean, you're not too far-fetched in my opinion, because we've seen that before. We've seen teams in pro sports where that happens.
Ego's no matter what you do in life, especially in professional sports. We know, Jonathan, ego's a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, it is. Absolutely, and everybody in sports has an ego.
Yeah,
I'm no different.
Yeah.
I have an ego. But in professional sports, and I've experienced that myself in my playing days, it's 10 times worse. And if you're in the big leagues, whether it's a manager or even a general manager, we saw Nolan Ryan and John Daniels. Alan can remember this. Nolan Ryan and John Daniels butted heads for years, trying to get power on a team that went to the World Series twice in back-to-back years, and they were trying to figure out who was going to be the guy to make the decision instead of just enjoying the success. So absolutely, ego is a big factor in the Ollie Marmol situation with the front office. Will I say that it's intentional to ruin Wilson Contreras' career? I won't go to that length because that's a huge
intentional might be not the word to say, but just
there's no other way.
You may not intentionally do it, but you just do. You know what I mean?
Lots of quotes today in the show.
Tough, man.
Legends.
That is ignorance to that level is not factual at the big league level. There's no way you're that ignorant to just say Murphy's Law has continued to occur and surround Wilson Contreras for a year and a half, or almost a year and a half at this point. You cannot sit here and tell me that is the case. If there is sabotage to a career, the only way it can be is intentional. I'm not going to go to that length because that is a dangerous allegation and dangerous assumption.
I will. I'll write it up tomorrow.
But, hold on. But
There's that integrity.
But I would be intrigued to listen more and watch more on how it transpires throughout the rest of Wilson Contreras' career.
I don't know if anybody else has connected that dots other than just my big brain right now. So I haven't heard that. Like that really just came off to me off the cuff right then and there. So
are you Charlie Day with the red strings right now? You're like,
I get it, but I mean, from how they treated him last year, and they were saying, "Oh, we're going to move you to the outfield again." Like one of the best catchers in the game for almost over a decade, and you're saying, "Oh yeah, you don't know how to play the catcher position. We're going to move you to outfield." I get what you're, hey, I'm just spitballing and everything like that, but
this guy spit.
I mean,
it makes sense. Tell me it doesn't make sense.
Peel the onion back a little bit more, and you may have something there. You may. Dangerous.
Jonathan, once you get hired by the Cardinals, you can tell me what it is. Now, I don't know how good of a friends we'll be if you get hired by the Cardinals, but but there'll still always be a spot for you on Monday nights.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll give the scoop once if I get to that point with the Cardinals. I'll give the scoop on what really. It'll be like the JFK files. We'll kind of we'll break open the seal and look at it and say, all right, here's the fact. Here's the truth of Wilson.
And then you can say, he was right. He was right all along.
Here's what I heard. Here's what I heard. This is what I know.
Hey, Jonathan, congratulations on your next success. We're obviously going to be riding in the back seat with you all the way to whatever your next stop is. So
we're going to hold on to those coattails.
Monday night.
Take us all the way, baby.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Yeah. And here in 1 month, I'll be doing shows with you guys out in California. So I'll be heading out to California for summer ball coaching out there. I already got my roster. So I'm going to start and touching base with them. But that's the next one right now. Is I'm going to be doing that. I'll be heading out to Beeville, Texas, where Coastal Bend is for a day or two to kind of get everything settled in over there. But
the swag.
One more. I'll get you guys. I'll get you guys taken care of. Absolutely. I'll get a little bit more.
We want stuff.
But here. Here in 1 month. 1 month, I'll be doing a show with you guys, and I'll be doing it from Cali. So that'll be looking forward to that and having some fun out there and whatnot. So I'll have to start. Y'all gonna have to when I get out there though. You're gonna have to remind me. Hey, FYI, Jonathan, you're on the West Coast now, so your time's gonna be a little bit.
2 hours behind us. 2 hours behind.
Yeah. So y'all gonna have to send me reminders when I get out there. Be like, hey, FYI, you're now on at 7 p.m., not 9 p.m. now.
Hey, appreciate it. Hey,
showtime.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for joining us, Jonathan. We'll catch you next Monday, brother.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Jonathan. Congrats, dude.
Give it up for everybody's favorite hitting coach, Jonathan Grisham, baby.
Let's go.
Good season, boys. Good season. Good season.
Real quick to all the Rangers fans out there, you go to hell. You go to hell and you die. Anyway, that's all I got for you.
I was going to say, Sam, go ahead and start us off our final thoughts real quick.
You go to hell. No, I'm just kidding. Final thoughts. I'm coming into work and we're there on Monday and the work's not too bad. But have you ever noticed there's like the people that still complain? You know what I mean? Like they're just complaining. Like there comes a time when you just have to realize that it doesn't matter what kind of day you're having. If you just want to complain, you're just going to complain.
Oh yeah.
So don't be that guy. I was thinking about it today. While talking, I'm like, it's really not that bad, dude. Yeah, well, it's just, if you're going to be upset, you're going to be upset. But history has shown that the people that don't complain are the ones that get stuff done. So get stuff done. Don't sit there and complain about it. Go Guardians.
Yeah, I like it. Tanner?
You're welcome.
Just want to promote here the Buffoons will be going live Wednesday. We'll be surely talking about the schedule release that happens Wednesday for the NFL officially. So I'm excited for that day to kind of get a more of a breakdown, get our early predictions of the Chiefs schedule there for that. Basement Brood fans football side kind of things, guys. I'm going through with some best balls, getting ready to live stream some of that going on, some live stream drafts. But we're also breaking down each team and who to look for on that team and where they kind of sit in the rankings. So lots of cool stuff coming in. I mean, it's fancy. I mean, I've been doing best balls here. I'm probably at least almost 10 in. Just, hey, get it in early and see what happens. So fun time. So that's all I got.
Real quick, I would be remiss if I did not say Iowa coach Lisa Bluter retired today. We wish her the best of luck. She coached guiding the Hawkeyes 24 years coaching the Iowa women. I would say why she did not win a national championship, she's still kind of going out on top. It ain't going to get much better than the last 2 seasons you had with Caitlin Clark in those 2 teams, back-to-back Final Fours. So she actually finished her
isn't it back-to-back losing national championships?
Yeah, back-to-back national championship games. 528 wins. So she coached 40 seasons, 24 of them in Iowa. She got at Iowa in 2000. So she has been around a long time. With the Hawkeyes, Bluter was 528 and 254. So it's not like she didn't have just success with Caitlin Clark. She was pretty successful with her 18 NCAA tournament appearances in 24 seasons at Iowa. So she is hanging it up, and her top assistant Jan Jansen is now taking over the helm at women's Iowa basketball. So it's been a pleasure obviously she's had a great success with Caitlin the last 2 years, but a great coach overall in general at a place like Iowa too. So I feel like,
right?
It's not UConn, it's not Tennessee, it's Iowa. So
Texas.
Is this heaven? No, it's Iowa.
It's Iowa. Quoting the movie you hate. Look at you.
Nonetheless, we'll be back Thursday night, 8:00 Central, 9 Eastern. Talk a little NBA playoffs. We'll look. I hate it, but we'll talk about the NFL schedule because I don't really think things like that fucking matter. But
I don't hate it.
We'll talk about it. So be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. You guys know what to do. So we'll see you then. Sam, hit that outro. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.